at 5:30. With Eric being absent, well, so let the record show that Trustee Martin is absent this evening, but we do need an acting clerk. So I would like to make a motion to appoint Left Brown as acting clerk for the evening. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. And then we need to make one change to the agenda. Item 10D, SEIU MOU. Under 2.0, it should read Wednesday, July 8th, not June 8th. And there's updated MOUs in your board packet.
You said D, 10D?
10D is just the dates changing from July, should be July 8th, not June 8th. All right. All right. So with those two things, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. We will now convene to close session. Meeting to order at 6:03. Report of action taken in closed session. For Resolution 2026-20, during the previous closed session, the board acted to authorize the district superintendent or designee to notify administrative employees pursuant to Ed Code Section 44951 that the employees will be released from their positions for the 2026-2027 school year. The vote was unanimous. Item 2. During the previous closed session, the board authorized the district superintendent or designee to notify an administrative employee pursuant to Ed Code Section 44951 that the employees will be reassigned from their positions for the 2026-2027 school year, and the vote was unanimous. Item 3. In closed session, the board took action to non-reelect .80 FTE certificated employee. The vote was unanimous. And item 4, pursuant to Ed Code Section 44954, subdivisions A and B, during the previous closed session, the board acted to authorize the district superintendent or designee to notify 11 temporary certificated employees that they will not be reemployed for the 2026-2027 school year. The vote was unanimous. Land acknowledgement. Trustee Johnson?
Thank you. Okay. Sonoma County is home to many tribal nations, including Cloverdale Pomo, Cashio Pomo, Lytton Pomo, Dry Creek Pomo, Meshiwa Wapo, and the Federated Indians of Grayton Rancheria, which includes Southern Pomo and Coast Miwok people. The Cotati-Roanoke Park School District is located on the ancestral homelands of the Southern Pomo and Coast Miwok, who today are known as tribal citizens of the Federated Indians of Grayton Rancheria. The Southern Pomo and Coast Miwok people have been stewards and caretakers of these lands since time immemorial and have survived acts of local genocide and a legacy of colonialism. Today, they are part of a living tribe that is affecting positive change for Native and non-Native communities throughout the tribe's mission of social justice, cultural revitalization, and environmental stewardship.
Thank you. I would like to invite everyone to join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right.
It's usually over there.
I know.
supposed to
We're
be on
just
the right.
we're just switching it up today. It's a topsy-turvy world.
No, it's supposed to be on the right.
All right. Special recognitions and presentations. I'd like to invite up Lawrence Jones Middle School.
Good evening, everybody. You're gonna have to apologize. I apologize for my casual attire. I spent today presenting to all of our middle school all of our elementary school fifth graders to talk to them about middle school and what to expect. So of course, Mr. Brown and I had to go around in our school branded gear. So I apologize. Let me see if I can get this to work. Can you see it? Okay, but it's PowerPoint, so I don't know how to make you see it in a presentation. Right there? Hey, check us out. Okay, it looks good, Rochelle. There was a whole fiasco about getting this to present correctly. So tonight I'm here to talk to you kind of about a focus that LJ, where we are working towards building community through the form of getting connected. And so getting connected has kind of been a phrase that we've been using. We want to connect kids with kids, kids with adults, and then the other adults in our community with students and programs on campus. So last year when I presented to you, we were in the middle of overhauling our mission, our vision, and our motto. And so the teaching staff and with students and some parent involvement, we were able to update our mission and vision. I won't bore you with those details. It was a lot of refining what was already in existence. But one of the things that we were working hard towards was coming up with a motto, something that we could say day in and day out to remind everyone of what we're here to do. And so I had kind of proposed last time, every student, every day, no matter what, and that is where we landed. It was a unanimous vote amongst all of my teaching staff that this is what we're here to do every day. And so as we talk about programming, as we talk about opportunities for kids at Lawrence Jones, this is what we bring it back to, is do we have an opportunity for every student every day? And are we working no matter what? Even on the days when our middle schoolers are maybe showing us their most challenging selves, are we doing what we can to support them? So we are there. It'll be branded on a lot of things. It is on our marquee. It will be on shirts. It will be in our planner. So we're really happy to have landed there. Through that lens, one of the things that we're working on is involving all of our educational partners, right? Every student starts with not only those that they see at school, but the people who encounter them outside of school, their parents, their adults. One of the things I learned in putting together this presentation is I need to take more pictures. So I apologize for the words. I need to do better at taking pictures. We're working really hard to involve our parent groups. We have 2 really populated parent groups at LJ. We have Excelpa, which is the parent board that oversees Excel, and we have our PTSA. Both parent groups have been working to bring opportunities for kids, and as we've been working with those groups, we're talking about all LJ students and what opportunities are available to them. Excelpa this year has brought to us that they'd like to have another water bottle filling station to kind of reinforce their sustainability focus. So they're fundraising for that so that all of our kids will have access to another one of those. They're working on creating dances and opportunities before and after school for kids to engage in their learning and activities at school. And PTSA has been hustling this week specifically because Friday is our color run. So it's our big event where every single LJ student, no matter who they are, no matter what they fundraise, no matter what their behavior record is, if you will participate in the fun run. We're going to go out and experience this all together. There is the run, and there is a carnival, and there is going to be snacks and games and all kinds of stuff. So that will happen this Friday. Additionally, I see some formatting issues, sorry. We also have our ELAC and our school site council. So I meet with them, and their big push is field trips. They want more field trips for middle schoolers. So we're having a lot of conversations about what that could and would look like, and that's one of our next steps for next year. This is just a list of the things that are going on. One of the other things that came out of our Youth Truth survey last year, I love middle schoolers, was we want more picnic tables. And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong. So PTSA fundraised for picnic tables. They just bought us picnic tables, one of which is ADA. So now for my children who have assistive devices, there's a place for them to sit with their peers in our quad and have an experience with their peers, which is fantastic. It was something we didn't know we were missing until we really started to think about it. And then one of the things that kids are talking about now too is they want our school to have more personality. And I said, I don't know what that means. You're middle schoolers. Talk to me more. They want there to be more LJ stuff past the front office. And so when we dug a little bit deeper, they're talking paw prints on the ground like they have at Rancho. They're talking benches that are black and yellow. They're talking paintings on the wall that show kind of what life is like in our community and at our school. So those are some of the things that we're pursuing. This is the slide I apologize for. So how are we getting students involved? Because their voice matters. They're the ones that show up every single day. We do have our leadership class. So that is a class that meets every single day, 7th and 8th graders telling us what's up. They plan spirit days, they plan fun Fridays, they plan rallies. They are kind of the doers. They also do LJTV, which I was going to show you an episode of, but it's not ready till Friday. But they are kind of our day-to-day voice. Additionally, though, we wanted to hear from some students who weren't participating in leadership. Maybe they're in band or they're in Excel and they're not participating in that class. So this year we started a student council. Every 4th period class has a representative who comes to a meeting. And those kids come together, they identify what is the problem that they want to tackle. What are we facing? What are some solutions? Go back and talk to your homeroom class. Come back, and then they take action. So right now their problem is trash on campus and the seagulls. that is a very real thing. If you came to LJ, the birds are everywhere. So they're talking about, how do we assign different hallways trash pickup days? How do we have certain kids do pickup? How do we have our custodian have a little team of people who would help him during lunchtime? So they're really putting their heads together to solve some problems that they're identifying in school. In the middle is our long list of clubs. I got to talk to the 5th graders today about the fact that we start every year with 0 clubs. Clubs are student created. And so they find a friend who has a shared interest. They make a club. They find a teacher who says, sure, I'll host your club. You can use my classroom. And then there it is. And it gets announced and kids show up. So this is what has come this year from my 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. I'll tell you what, you walk into that D&D club, you have never seen more animated middle schoolers. And it is a collection of kids from all different groups. They're not the friend group that came to school. They're the friend group that was developed at school, which is really awesome. And when it's not D&D club day, they will just play on a picnic table. And it is, the first day I thought something naughty was happening. I walked over, I'm like, what device do we have out? And I was like, oh, you guys are playing D&D. Cool. Who's the dungeon master? So it's been really cool. And then we have some before and after school activities that are longstanding: band, drama, expeditions through expeditionary learning. And then we still are continuing our partnership with Safe School Ambassadors and Community Matters. We have a plan to expand our relationship with that organization and take some of the trainings and language from Safe School Ambassadors and embedding it in our culture and climate. So talking about and teaching kids how to be upstanders, teaching them what it looks like to disrupt mistreatment. And so that's kind of what we'll work on next year. And then staff. Happy teachers means happy kids. So our staff is coordinated into different committees, and we use our Wednesday time to meet in committees. Some of them are taking care of each other and creating shenanigans on campus. We just wrapped up a week of Clue. My assistant principal, Miss Campos, made some announcements every day, giving the kids clues to solve this mystery. And they had to call in, and they had to submit Google Forms, and they had to ask questions of adults on campus. Well, did you see Mr. White this place? Well, who's Mrs. Peacock? I heard she has brown hair, but it can't be. So fun camaraderie kind of came of that. I don't even remember who won, but at the end, the kids were so excited because they got it right, and they knew on day one, I knew it was her. So it was fun to see them smile. And we're working on field days. We're working on field trips. There's more shenanigans. My school-wide events crew, I think next week, they're hiding leprechauns all over campus for the kids to find and turn in for prizes. We, this year, also spent some time working on culture and community events. So one of the things that was part of our Youth Truth data last year was that kids don't feel represented at school. And so we have a culture and community events committee that meets. This year we had a mariachi during Hispanic Heritage Month come to campus. We did some Lunar New Year fun facts and announcements and some crafts projects. We celebrated Black History Month. We had fun facts, and we had some adults on campus doing presentations to kids. And then one of our big things this year is for our students who are excelling academically. They were feeling like they weren't being recognized. And so we have this year gold and silver cards for kids who have strong GPAs. It earns them privileges. We ask them, like, what do you want to earn? And some of them want trinkets and things. Others of them are loving that they get 5 minutes of early out lunch on Fridays. So if you have a gold or a silver card, you get to go to lunch 5 minutes early. It's 5 minutes of an already extended homeroom class, so they're not losing any learning time. They love it. They get the quad to themselves. It's quiet. They walk with their chins up. They're very proud of themselves. They also get a fast pass to the dance. If you guys could watch these kids at our last dance, this is the first time they've had these cards. They got in 30 seconds early. That was it. They literally just were a separate line that got in early. You would have thought that they walked the red carpet. They were so excited. They got through the door, and then the next kid came in. Like it was nothing, and they were so proud of themselves because they had a privilege that recognized who they were and what their hard work was, and it was paying off. And then we're working on some special lunchtime events that kids can participate in. Gold and silver cards are also available to kids by request of the teacher. So some students are not receiving those high GPAs for whatever reasons, but they still deserve those privileges. So part of our cost team is to determine which kids would benefit from those sort of opportunities. And then, of course, we are celebrating our own. Miss Nadine Finn is one of our special education teachers and ed specialists. She won California League of Middle Schools Region 4 Educator of the Year. And she's headed, actually, she and I are headed to Long Beach on Friday for the statewide competition. So we are hoping that her hard work and 30 years of educational dedication kind of pay off for her. But she did win our region, which is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. She's an amazing educator. So our next steps, we want to expand the cultures that are recognized on campus and how we're doing that and making sure it's thoughtful. PTSA wants to partner to talk about alignment of vision now that we've done our mission and vision. We want to provide more experiences for kids to build excitement. That's field trips and such. We are going to expand SSA. We are next year, a big, big, big push for our school is a connection between career and school. So we're trying to figure out how do we bring career professionals into the middle school setting so kids can make meaning of the learning they're doing and connect it to something that's not just because I have to get a good grade. And then, per all of my parent groups, bring back field trips. So I'm open to any ideas of how to make that happen on a middle school campus of 800. But we've got some really good things going and a lot of really nice things on the horizon. So thank you for letting me share. Questions?
Great, fantastic. Any questions?
I have
for-
a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah.
2 cool names stick out to me. I mean,
Yes.
the D&D thing and math, Dungeons and Dragons, and Math Rocks. I mean, I gotta love that. But no, these 2 stood out to me. Sandhill Crane Club. What a cool sounding name. And then the Jagpaw. The Jagpaw. Yeah, tell me about those 2 things.
The Sandhill Crane Club just came to me. I don't even know what they do.
Okay.
I'm going to be
They
real
just have a
honest
cool-
with
they
you.
just have a cool name.
And then what was the other one?
Yeah, but are they just fans of the animal or?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I do have a birder on campus. I have an avid bird teacher and subsequent student group. So I'm not sure. That's a new one that was added when I was looking at our little calendar of events. So Miss Campos probably knows more about it. I'll get back to you.
And the Jagpaw?
The Jagpaw. Oh, this one right here?
Yes.
Rebuilding the
Jagpaw.
Rebuilding the Jagpaw. Okay, so the Jagpaw is our currency. So it's a cut you being good ticket. And we have them on campus. Middle schoolers are hit or miss on them. They were not wanting them. I was finding them on the ground or in the trash, or I would have kids say, no, thank you. And I was like, wait a minute. This isn't working. So what they told me was, we don't get enough for it. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Well, teachers don't take them, or I don't like the things that are in the store. So this year, our springtime, our PBIS committee is working on rebuilding the Jagpaw. So I have a teacher who is adamant about sort of, relaunching the economy of the Jagpaw. And so he's talking about, what can teachers offer? And so we're getting creative about 5 Jagpaws can buy you pick your own seat for a day in your history class where your teacher says you may never choose your own seat. Or it could earn you access to the front of the lunch line. Or it could, so we're talking about what experiences could kids get and purchase with their currency for Caught You Being Good that they actually would value. And also then what prizes and rewards they would want. So the Jagpaws are our cash currency on campus. Good questions.
All right.
Any others?
Any other questions?
Just a comment. I'm very excited. Thanks for all that hard work.
Thanks.
Looks good.
It's fun. Middle schoolers are amazing. And when you stop and slow down and ask them kind of, what do you need? What do you want? They have some cool ideas. And sometimes it's not as complicated as we make it out to be as adults. So
All right.
thank you all.
Thank
I
you, Meredith.
appreciate you.
All right. Next we have El Camino.
It's a Google. How does she do that?
Hi, good evening, esteemed members of the board. Nice to be here tonight to talk about El Camino and all the really groovy stuff that we have going on. So El Camino, we are a student-centered environment where individuals are known and supported. Our motto is that at El Camino, every student matters. We're here to help you move forward with confidence, purpose, and pride. The main focus is our class size and the ability to make really meaningful relationships by having we strive for a 20-to-1 ratio, but we're at 24-to-1. This year we'll have served a total of 75 kids right now. We'll have graduated another 7 students on Friday, March 13th so far. And then at the last board meeting, you got to hear how many students that we've already graduated already. So we currently serve 1 sophomore and the rest are juniors and seniors. So our key features is really our student-teacher ratio. Our courses run at double time. So Rancho already has classes that are on the quarter system, so they're going through a year-long course in a semester. At El Camino, we're even at double time. So we have something called Octomesters, which I've shared with you guys last year. So an Octomesters was wonderfully coined by our IT department. Thanks, guys. As we were trying to develop, figure out how do we even call that. And so I'm really happy to that this year we actually have our own transcript that reflects our Octomesters and the ways that students are able to earn credits. Students earn about 10 to 12 credits every octomester for a total of 90 possible credits every year. So it's similarly aligned to the 4x4 schedule that you could also get at the comprehensive high school, and then adding on another 10 credits onto that total max amount. We work in a thematic integrated instruction and PBL model. So that is how we're able to meet everybody's needs. Kids come to us needing just a variety of different types of credit earning. We might have somebody that needs 30 credits of English and none of math, or all of the, Gov and Econ or US history, but has already done world. So the ways that we're able to meet students' needs is really, if you think about it, more along the lines of what you might see in an elementary school classroom where the teacher may teach all of the subject matters. The flexibility that we have in alternative education through the CDE is that continuation schools are able to employ teachers that teach outside of their subject matter area. So sometimes ideal teachers are ones that might have a special education background or maybe even a general education background because they have that generalized knowledge. But right now we have 3 amazing teachers, and we do have teachers that are teaching outside of their comfort zone, essentially. But it's pretty neat to see how our teachers are able to grow and thrive. One of our amazing teachers, Mr. Slade, who right now is over there making all that noise at the basketball game. He's also Rancho's varsity basketball coach. He's a single subject math teacher who is currently teaching Gov and Econ as well. So, and all students at El Camino also need to pass Algebra 1. So we found that a lot of our students do have some remedial math skills that really could be met by a very talented single subject math teacher as well. So they're getting those foundational skills before they lift off. So the day consists of 2 classes starting at 8:45. Each class is about 90 to 100 minutes long. Each one of those classes is worth 5 credits. And then they have a period at the end of the day that's about 40 minutes long that is an advisory period. During that time, we were able to loop in the valuable time that the students that they could use by having some academic guidance. We don't have an academic guidance counselor. We don't have a counselor that's assigned to El Camino, so a lot of that fell on me or on our teachers in more of an informal setting. So this year we decided to formalize it a little bit more and just have them do academic advising during that advisory period. It's been really, it's been a really great and unique experience to have them have that time. They get to know those kids. They have them on their caseload for the entire year. So that third period always remains the same. That is a static period for the kids. So during that time, they sit down with their advisor, one of the 3 teachers, who will go over their academic goals and what their progress is towards graduation. That teacher will also be the first one to have any conversations with parents and reach out and make sure that they know how their child is doing. So that's how we've kind of made it a little bit more unique this year, and it's been a great way for our teachers to also have really special relationships. And again, that's what we're going to keep coming back to as a theme throughout El Camino. Is just it's really dependent on relationships. We need our kids to come to school, want to be re-engaged, and that's been a huge focus for us. We we achieved a 6-year WASC accreditation, which is excellent. Last year in May 2025, I decided to put that in there because I had done our board presentation previous to our WASC accreditation. We had a very successful visit from WASC, and we developed some goals to work on for this next year, and some of that is building out in our exactly what we have right now during that advisory period is, and then also to have our PLC time with a focus on tier 2 and tier 3 interventions, most specifically to social emotional needs. We're able to meet that need right now with a really strong and beautiful partnership with CPI that we continue to be very, very grateful for. We do have our own social emotional counselor. They are typically an intern, and we just really value that relationship. It's been it's very powerful to have kids be able to have that that we can work, we can refer them into actually having immediate social emotional support. This next year, we got the equity multiplier, really exciting. I decided to put in some student feedback in there. When we're talking about feedback and our stakeholders, our students really are, they're gonna tell us what they need. So their feedback for how to utilize and best utilize this is to have our own counseling, our own counselor. The equity multiplier is a great opportunity for us to fill that need. Student feedback was that they just want someone to talk to. They would like to have someone to help them create job applications or to build their resume and to help them apply for jobs. That was multiple suggestions from many, many students. That remains like a theme throughout our year 2. We do help the kids work on resumes throughout the year. We help them with some interview skills and then also to help them follow up and make those follow-up phone calls. They would like help with career and what to do after high school and be able to meet during the school day. They want their counselor to be real. They want someone who can handle hard and real things that actually go on in people's lives. And they want someone that's understanding. And that sounds like what we can hopefully fill for next year. And we have some really good ideas of because our kids do leave early, on what that position and what that would look like after student hours. And I'm happy to answer any of those questions in a wee bit. The Youth Truth data shows that El Camino continues to stand out. We score amongst the highest in the county, in the state, and we score like the highest in the district for engagement, academic challenges, culture, belonging, and peer collaboration, relationships, and college and career readiness. That was actually an area of growth for us, was that college and career readiness. We didn't score as well in that last year, but we've really worked hard with that, and especially with that advisory period, and that was some feedback that we got during the WASC cycle as well. But you can see that we really just, we do an excellent job of making relationships with kids and creating a culture where kids feel that they belong and that they want to be there. And again, attendance is the number one thing in order to even earn credits at El Camino. You just gotta be there and do your work. But we also have a variable credit model. That just means if you're there, you're going to earn your full amount of credits. If you're not there, it's going to be hard for you to earn the full 5 credits for that class. So we've really worked hard on making sure that kids want to be there, and that is by letting them know that they belong there, that we want them, that we care about them, and that we want to see them thrive. So I've put in this, the larger one is in comparison to CRP USD schools. The smaller one is in comparison to county or to California? Yeah, and that's in California. So you see still in those, that engagement is what we're working really hard on, and as well as relationships. Here's what some of the kids said. I pulled these from Youth Truth. This school inspires me to do the best because each teacher spends time to prove that they want to see us do better. Here they don't give up on you, and it's easy to tell that teachers care about the students and respect the students. And that is what we can offer with our small learning environment. That's really difficult to do when you get kind of lost in the shuffle, and that's precisely why El Camino is so valuable for at times our most at-risk or marginalized kids. And again, El Camino, we stand out for a sense of belonging. With those hands-on learning experiences as well, trying to build some teamwork. We have kids that are kind of coming from all walks of life that are entering and exiting at kind of random times. So how do you make them feel like they have a spot there? And that's, again, just a huge focus on community. We try to circle up at the beginning and the end of every week, come together as a community to start and to finish, celebrating our students as they are our early grads and just making them feel so proud of how far that they've come. For a lot of them, this is a huge achievement, and we're so honored to be a part of their story. That's what I got.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Thank you so much. You know, I was raising myself as a teenager, and if it wasn't for a teacher putting some energy into me and telling me that I could achieve whatever I wanted to, I don't know where I'd be today. And so thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
I just have one logistical question. So students choose to go to El Camino? Like they aren't.
Correct. So it's really hard to have kids not buy in to a different school, a different setting, away from their friends. We had a different bell schedule in Rancho this year. We're not going to go that route next year. The feedback from the kids, and then also just logistically, it's going to make more sense to have us back on Rancho's bell schedule. We're on the campus. We're like a limb of it, so it just kind of makes sense for us to move back into that. But how the referral process looks is I start to pull reports around a student's 10th and 11th grade year to start to look at some low credits as being the first an indicator that somebody might need some help. I start to push out those reports to the counselors, and they start to pull those families in. There might be really unique situations that we already know that kid is, we haven't made contact with them for a very long time, or there's extenuating circumstances, or we have another plan, or maybe they already have an IEP. So there's different factors that make it so that we wouldn't maybe pursue that particular referral. And then once they've kicked off that initial conversation, they'll usually loop me into that first conversation, or to the second one. And if I don't get an opportunity to talk to them then I'll just make contact with that family. And I have to ask point blank to the kid during that meeting, do you want to be here? Do you want to come? I did have a mom say today, though, it's not going to be his choice as of June if he doesn't get it together. So there's different, but really they have to want to be there. And I do think that for the most part, they do. There are some students that opt not to go, and then they may not be on a route for graduation from Rancho, and then we look at adult school or another option for them, Conservation Corps or something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned that ideally it's a 20-1, but right now you're a 24-1. Is there a cap? Like we're full, we can't take anyone else, or will we take, if someone wants to be there and makes a commitment, we take everybody?
Yeah, and I think so. We're getting close to the cap at the beginning of this school year, but because of attendance, it made sense. It was okay to keep taking students. So we haven't actually reached that. Okay. I think next year when we go down to 2 classes, we're probably going to have that situation, and that's why, because these are such valuable spots, we're going to have to be pretty discerning about who wants to be there and who doesn't want that opportunity necessarily. So really making sure to vet our referrals.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Do the kids who go to El Camino, are they able to be on like Rancho athletics or clubs
Good
or
question.
anything
I
like that?
really tried to hustle for them to be able to, but it's not possible. It's not with NCD code. So we cannot they cannot play. They cannot play any kind of athletics. There's no aspect of athletics that they can actually play in whatsoever. They can still participate in clubs. They go to all the dances. And the ways that, and actually a couple of our kids run some really cool clubs. One of them runs the weightlifting club that all students from Rancho or El Camino participate in. We actually give him some extra credits for that in elective. Plus he's showing that he's a leader, and he was able to plan and write the proposal for his club and have, membership meetings and all that kind of stuff. So that's been really groovy. They still can participate on any of the things that are happening on Rancho's campus, but we do have our separate graduation, and athletics sometimes is an issue. We do have some kids that, they want to play football, or and they don't want to come over because they don't want to miss out on a season.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
All right, trustee reports on activities. Trustee Johnson?
Okay, this year I am participating in the Thomas Page South Sudan water writing competition. Well, it's not a writing, a student writes me a letter and I get to read it and stuff. So that's just started. So any of your board members that have been approached, I hope you're joining too.
Trustee Brown? Sorry.
You and I attended the budget meeting, kind of a review of what we've already heard, so nothing really earth-shattering that hasn't been brought to the board already. So just an update there.
Trustee Nelson?
I did that, the water for South Sudan last year. I've got to get to that this year. I remember seeing it, but I didn't act, so,
All right.
yeah. But no new meetings, scheduled or unattended, since last meeting.
I went to the budget meeting with Trustee Brown. I attended the SCO meeting last week. Yeah, it was last week. And I will give an update on that next week. I have a follow-up meeting with one of the trustees this week, so I just want to.
Is that the Monday night meeting?
It was last Monday night's
Yeah,
meeting.
but okay.
Yeah. And then I also have a pen pal in 6th grade, Thomas Page, for Water for Sudan. So that was exciting to get my letter today. And then I got to attend the Wellness Center here at Rancho Cotati this morning. I got a lovely tour of it with Superintendent Ituri, and it was nice to see what they're doing and what their challenges are. And one of the things that I appreciated everything about it. But as we know, funding is tight right now and every single thing has to get looked at. And I really appreciate how the admin team and the wellness team are looking at out of the box ideas of how to get funding for their wellness center. And they even teased us with the idea that they could be net neutral, that there's other districts that do it that are able, it's probably a year or two out, but I really, really appreciated that, they know that there's a problem and they came to Superintendent Ituri with here's some possible solutions. So above what they already are doing to support our students, I thought that was refreshing and awesome to hear. So, yeah, all right.
Good evening, everyone. So we've had several bargaining sessions since our last meeting. We've met with CSEA in our IBB process twice. Really grateful to the teamwork and the collaboration that took place there. We were able to come to some agreements that I believe you'll see at the next board meeting. We had our budget advisory committee where we went over the process that we've gone through. It's really been a 2-year process where we started identifying potential budget cuts last year. Those cuts went through several iterations and different groups within our organization, and we vetted those ideas to see what would work and what didn't work, which we eventually came up with the final list. So I really want to acknowledge the work of the Budget Advisory Committee and their support with making some really difficult decisions. We've always said we've made the best of the worst decisions that we possibly could when it came to what we were going to cut. I also met with the Ed Foundation. They're having their gala on March 28th. I encourage people to attend. They are so excited to support us, and their enthusiasm around finding ways of supporting our school is really quite amazing and very precious, and I really appreciate Dan and Vera's work. We also met with RIPSIA in IBB, and I know that's a lot of alphabet. We met with our teachers union in interest-based bargaining, and we focused on special ed. We had invited special ed instructors in to give us a sense of what's going on in the classrooms and to problem solve with them. I was with President Wing today, got a tour of the Wellness Center, really, really great work, and as President Wing was saying, they came up with ideas, which I was just so impressed with. I also got to see one of our extensive needs classrooms and the amazing work that's happening in that space. And I talked to one of the Phoenix teachers who told me about how many students she certifies with CPR and first aid, and it's amazing. And she was just saying and it was quite, it just shined, this huge light bulb went off when she said, there's 1,600 kids on here and 100 of us. They need to be able to support each other if there's an earthquake or an emergency. So now we're talking about potentially fitting that into our safety plans, is to get kids trained in CPR and first aid. I really appreciate the work that Marcy Grossman is doing in Phoenix. So thank you all. That's my report.
All right. There is no official correspondence. So next is consent agenda. Any questions or discussion? All right. Can I get a motion to
Oh,
approve?
wait a minute, wait, I did it on the, from A, you're asking about A through,
F?
A
Yep.
through F. I did have a question on the second reading. Are we there yet? Yes, second reading F. So I was looking that over, and that's a lot of work to do to have somebody on each. Can you talk a little bit about that? About having somebody that's a designated, they look at the social media and then they can call if there's any problem or something like that?
So our IT department, we have a lot of, we have several things that monitor our student use. So a lot of it is monitored through that. We get alerts when things come up. So is that what you're asking about? It's not.
Oh, okay, I thought it was saying that like each school would have to have somebody that's a designated social media watchdog, kind of like.
I'm going to have to look into that.
Okay, we'll get back to it later.
Thank
then.
you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Can I get a motion to approve items 8A through F?
If she has a question,
We would have had to pull it
Yeah.
at the beginning of the
Oh.
agenda. We can't
She
pull
would
it
have
now.
had to pull it.
can't pull it
and-
now?
and
Okay.
We've already approved the
Trustee
agenda
Johnson-
as is.
Yeah, and Trustee Johnson can always vote no if she doesn't have enough information.
Okay.
That's kind of where, that's
Right.
the only option right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't answer that more thoroughly.
But
Yeah,
we have to pull it even for her to vote no, because we're
No, she
voting
got
on
to
all
vote
these
no.
together,
Yeah,
but
you'd
if
have
she
to vote no
votes,
on the whole thing.
she has to vote no on the whole,
Right.
all of them. Even though she has a question about F,
That's what I mean, yeah.
you have to vote no on all of them, not just that
Correct.
one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I could have asked it ahead of time. I just thought it was, you
Yeah,
know,
so
something
just a
that-
reminder, so when we do, if you have any questions about consent items,
yeah.
they need to be
Yeah.
pulled when we do the agenda, so we can have discussion
Yeah.
according to the Brown Act,
Oh.
and then you can vote separately on that one item.
They get voted on as a packet.
Right.
Consent group.
Oh, I apologize.
No,
Okay,
Don't apologize, it's just
so what do we do?
Someone
Can I
has the
just-
motion
Vote,
to
yeah.
approve
We're gonna
items
take the
8A through F.
Okay, I approve. I move.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. There are no personnel services, so next is approval of school plan for student achievement.
Thank you. Annually, each school completes the school plan. All schools that receive categorical funding have to have a plan that's approved by their school site council. Not all of our schools receive that funding, but we do have all the schools create the plan because it's good practice and it's something that keeps us getting engagement with our families in that. So we'd like you to approve these plans for today.
Any questions or discussion about them? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the school plan for student achievement?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, item 10, consideration of and possible action of resolution 2026-18 regarding certificated reduction in force 1 FTE layoff. Are there any questions or discussion about this one? Okay, can I get a motion to approve item 10B?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Next is approval of resolution 2026-17 regarding elimination or reduction of certain specialty funded positions in the classified service and directing notification to classified employees. Is there any questions or discussion? All right, can I get a motion to approve resolution 2026-17?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Approval of SEIU 2026 Extended School Year Summer Enrichment Academy Credit Recovery, MOU.
It wasn't pulled from the agenda, but there was a change due to the correction of the date. So you have the new updated version with the correct date. I apologize for that mishap.
I move.
Well, and is there any questions about it? No? Okay. So can I get a motion to approve SEIU 2026 Extended School Year Summer Enrichment Academy and Credit Recovery MOU?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with one absent. The next are first readings from E through J. Are there any questions or discussions about any of the first readings? All right. Any future business or agenda items? Trustee Johnson?
Not at this time.
Trustee Brown?
Nope.
Trustee Nelson?
Not this time.
All right. If there's nothing else, we will adjourn at 6:50. See you all next week.